My name is Andrew, and today I'm going to talk to you about one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time, Aaron Rodgers. And I'm going to be using him as an example as to why NFL quarterbacks' legacies shouldn't necessarily be measured by the amount of Super Bowls that they win. So, I'm going to take everybody back to 2010 when the Packers played the Steelers in the Super Bowl. And it's 3rd and 10 on the Packers' own 25-yard line. They have the ball up three, about 4 minutes left in the game. They got to make a play if they want to seal the deal. So Rodgers takes a snap. He drops back. He delivers an absolute laser to his wide receiver, Greg Jennings. And that essentially seals the deal for the Packers. They win their first Super Bowl since Brett Favre won it for them in the 90s. And Aaron Rodgers looks like he's about to be the next best quarterback in the NFL. Following that season, headed into the 2011 season, Rodgers goes on an absolute tear. He wins the league MVP. He leads the Packers to a 15-1 record, and he sets the single-season record for highest passer rating. Despite all of this, the Packers defense lets down Rodgers in the 2011 NFC divisional round against the New York Giants. Since his one and only Super Bowl win, Rodgers has won the MVP 3 times, has the best touchdown-to-interception ratio ever, has thrown over 400 passing touchdowns, and according to Pro Football Reference, has the best passer rating of all time, almost touching 105. To just put this into perspective, the best quarterback of all time, Tom Brady, I don't think there's any arguing that, has a 96 career passer rating. Rodgers is 9 points higher and is the only quarterback to break 100 for his overall career passer rating. It's really impressive. While he hasn't notched another Super Bowl win, he continually carries the Packers to the playoffs without a top 10 defense. Packers have only had a top 10 defense in 2 seasons with Rodgers, once in 2010 when they won the Super Bowl, and once in 2020, which recently ended in heartbreak against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC Championship game. Too often, people think that quarterbacks have complete autonomy over the decisions of football games. They forget that there are 3 facets to football games. 1, the offense, 2, the defense, and 3, special teams, all equally important. Now, quarterbacks typically only directly affect one side of the ball, the offense, and yes, they do commit turnovers, making it hard on the defense, but that's not usually the case for Rodgers. Like I said, he has the best touchdown-interception ratio ever. Turnovers aren't necessarily a problem for Aaron Rodgers. Guys like Eli Manning, and I'm not trying to knock on Eli, who have won 2 Super Bowls, and he did make miraculous plays during those games. He was supported by incredible defenses against some of the best Patriots teams of all time, including the 2007 team with Tom Brady and Randy Moss, who went 16-0 and arguably one of the best offenses to ever see the field. Manning is a first ballot Hall of Famer just based on these 2 accolades alone, these 2 wins alone, and he's always going to be remembered for them. But he's not going to be remembered for being benched in the middle of a season for poor quarterback play, or for never leading the Giants to necessarily spectacular regular season finishes. Rodgers consistently has the Packers in the playoffs, leading them to great records, and has only missed the playoffs twice under his entire time as a starter. In playoff games, Rodgers' defenses have allowed 26.8 points per game, and in those losses, they have allowed just over 36 points per game. No football team is going to win very many games with their defense allowing that many points. It's nearly impossible. And I want to compare it to Brady for a second, who is no doubt the best winning quarterback of all time. But Brady's defenses have allowed 20.5 points per game, which is a whole score better than what Rodgers has received. It's extremely hard to win playoff games when your defense doesn't show up, let alone the Super Bowl. And Brady has also had the privilege of being around Bill Belichick for his entire career, who, in my opinion, is the best coach to ever coach in the NFL. Rodgers just hasn't had those same opportunities. The other thing about Rodgers that I want to talk about is his play style and playmaking ability, which I think is what separates him from the rest of the pack. I think Rodgers is one of the only quarterbacks to ever play the game who can play hero ball at an extremely high level. To give you an example of this, I want to take you back to the 2015 divisional round game against the Arizona Cardinals, which begins with Rodgers and the Packers being backed up in their own end zone with a 4th and 20. Rodgers rolls out to his left, throws an absolute strike to Jeff Janis, who was really a no-name wide receiver at the time, and easily converts the fourth down by more than enough and continues the game. They're still down by 7 points, but there's a little time left on the clock. It's third down, and as time is expiring, Rodgers snaps the ball. He starts to roll left, feeling pressure from his right side. And any football fan knows that it is really hard for a right-handed quarterback to make a great throw rolling to his left. So Rodgers lets go of the ball as he's getting hit. He throws an absolute dime to Jeff Janis in the end zone again, and the Packers tie the game. It is one of the best sequences of plays I've ever seen in my entire life, and it's one of the many examples of why Rodgers is such a great quarterback. His legacy is going to be defined by moments like these. There's no doubt that guys like Tom Brady are some of the best to ever do it. It's extremely hard to dispute because of their Super Bowl wins. However, I'm not trying to argue Rodgers as being greatest of all time, but I do think he should be up there in consideration as one of the most talented, if not the most talented, thrower of all time. He has unparalleled throwing abilities, and while he lacks a supporting cast at times, can still make deep playoff runs and has won a ring. He's one of the best quarterbacks to ever play in the National Football League, and people should stop giving him such a tough time about not winning more than one. It's time to come to the conclusion that yes, quarterbacks are very important in the outcomes of games, but they do not win football games alone. There's a reason why football is called a team sport.